Full the Young, and the Restless Spoilers Fridays update the 10th of July 2026. Welcome back to our channel, guys. Today is a beautiful Thursday, but things in Genoa City are an absolute, terrifying mess right now, and we need to talk about it immediately. I am honestly just so tired. I've been staring at my screen trying to process everything that just went down and my brain is just mush, but we have to talk about it. We have to talk about the absolute train wreck that is the Abbott family right now. I mean, seriously, what did we expect when Patty Williams was allowed back into the mix? What were they thinking? Who actually believes this is going to end well? Nobody. That's who. So let's just get into it because I have a lot of feelings today and I need to get them all out before I lose my mind entirely. And I might ramble a bit today, so just bear with me. It's just one of those days where the drama is so thick you could cut it with a knife. A very literal knife in Jack Abbott's case. Which is just... wow. Okay, let's start with the hospital because my anxiety is through the roof just thinking about it. So Jack is in the hospital. He lost a lot of blood. Patty stabbed him. Patty actually stabbed him. After everything, after the blackmail and the yacht and kidnapping Diane and holding her in a padded cell, it all comes down to a bloody mess in a hospital room. And where is Billy? Billy is at the Chancellor Park Cafe, which is just classic Billy, right? Things are falling apart, and his brother is bleeding out, and he's having a coffee meeting. But honestly, he's stressed. He is so stressed. He runs into Jill there, and Sally Spectre is with her. Sally had just told Jill that Jack is in the hospital, and Billy is just fuming. He tells his mom that Patty stabbed Jack and he lost so much blood. And then Billy does what Billy always does. He blames Victor Newman. He flat out says it is Victor's fault for getting Patty released. Which, okay, maybe I'm being too harsh on Billy here, but does Victor really control every single bad thing? Actually, yeah, he kind of does. Victor always has a hand in the cookie jar, but Jill is not having it. She refuses to defend Victor, but she also isn't going to let Billy just deflect. She wants to talk about Chancellor. Of course she does. It's Jill. Her son's brother is bleeding out and she's like, let's talk corporate strategy. It's so messed up but so on brand for her. And then Billy makes some snarky joke about Chancellor, and he asks what they were even talking about before he got there. Jill just looks at him and says, "We were talking about you." Because of course they were. Jill asks him what his actual plan is over at Spectre Charles, and Billy, in typical Billy fashion, just shrugs it off and says he doesn't have a plan. No plan. The man's life is in shambles and he has no plan. Sally chimes in, trying to keep the peace, and says she told Jill about Kane Ashby's offer, and Billy admits the offer seemed genuine. But Jill just goes off. She goes completely off. She asks him how on earth he expects to work under Kane if he can't even handle working under Sally and Audra Charles. And honestly, Jill makes a point here. A really good point. Billy hates taking orders. He hates it. And Kane Ashby, the guy who just ruthlessly blackmailed Lily using Malcolm's bone marrow. That Kane, it's a recipe for total disaster. So they start arguing, right there in the park. A huge, loud, messy argument. Jill finally snaps and yells that he didn't even bother to tell her that he was getting married and having a baby. She is so hurt. You can see it in her eyes. But Billy just throws it right back in her face and says she only came to town for Chancellor anyway. It's brutal. Short punches. Just brutal. He storms off. He just walks away, leaving Sally standing there looking so uncomfortable. Sally tells Jill she's sorry and tells her not to hold it against him. He'll come around, she promises. Will he though? Will he really? I don't know. I really don't. Sally is dealing with her own massive trauma and miscarriage right now because of Billy's doubts, and she is still standing there apologizing for him. It is so sad. Okay, let's shift gears to the GCC because the legal mess is just as bad as the family drama. Maybe worse. Michael Baldwin is sitting there with Christine Romalotti, and he is literally begging her. He is pleading with her. Michael says they both know exactly what kind of person Patty is. And Christine, poor Christine, she looks so conflicted. She says of course she knows. Patty is her sister-in-law. But then she drops the hammer. She says she looked at the file. And she has no choice. She has to prosecute Diane Jenkins. She has to. She tells Michael that his friend's situation is not looking good at all, and Michael is just losing it. He says Diane would never try to kill Jack, never, and they both know that. But Christine is bound by the law. She says it's Michael's job to prove it in court. She doesn't want to throw Diane in prison. You can tell she really doesn't. After everything Christine has been through lately, the whole frame up with Phyllis and getting arrested, she is traumatized. She doesn't want to put an innocent woman behind bars. But the evidence is the evidence. Michael is just ranting at this point. He says Patty should never have been released from the mental hospital in the first place. And he is right. He is 100% right. You signed off on that. Oh right, Dr. Lawrence Markham. Christine defends him, saying Markham has this stellar reputation. A stellar reputation? Are you kidding me? Michael just snaps. He tells Christine that Markham is the one who kidnapped Diane. He says Markham has to be just as sick and twisted as Patty to willingly participate in this kind of crime. And I am sitting here nodding at my screen because yes, exactly, Markham is dirty. We all know he is dirty. He helped Patty kidnap Abby and Dominic, for crying out loud. He held Diane in a barred room. The man is a monster, but on paper, he looks like a saint. It is so frustrating. Just then, Lauren Fenmore walks up. Thank God for Lauren. Christine says hi and then quickly escapes back to her office because she just can't deal with it anymore. Lauren sits down and asks Michael why on earth Christine thinks Diane did this instead of Patty. Michael just sighs. He admits he is so frustrated. He is so angry. But he knows what he has to do. He has to put all the pieces together to show the big picture. He says he is going to give it everything he has. And I believe him. When Michael Baldwin goes to war, he goes hard. But is it going to be enough against a rigged system and a crazy doctor? I am so stressed about this. But the most stressful part of the whole episode, the part that literally had me screaming at my television, Diane and Kyle at the hospital. Diane is a wreck. She is an absolute wreck. She tells Kyle that Patty is planning to finish Jack off. She knows it. Patty isn't going to just stop because Jack is in a hospital bed. Kyle tries to calm her down. He says they have a guard posted. A guard. Like a single security guard is going to stop Patty Williams when she is on a mission. Please. Diane knows better. She tells Kyle that this crazy woman set everything up perfectly. The whole crime scene, the setup, the timing, all the evidence points to one person, and that person is Diane. Kyle is just shocked. He looks like he got hit by a truck. He asks how that is even possible. What evidence could there possibly be? And Diane drops the bomb. She says Dr. Markham testified against her. He gave an official statement to the police. Markham, the guy who kept her locked up in a padded cell and gaslight her about having a mental breakdown, is now the star witness against her. It is brilliant and evil and so messed up. Kyle immediately goes into protective son mode. He says he is her alibi. He was with her, but Diane just shakes her head. She says the cops don't care. He is her son. The police just think Kyle will say anything and do anything to protect his mother. And let's be real. He would. He absolutely would. So his word means nothing to the GCPD. Diane is crying now, and she says the only person who can clear her name is Jack. Jack is the only one who can tell Christine that Patty is the one who stabbed him, not Diane. Jack is the key to everything, but Jack is unconscious. He has to go in for a CT scan, and the nurse says it is going to take an hour, a whole hour. So Kyle and Diane decide to go home for a little bit to wash up and regroup. And this is the part where I lost my mind. As Diane and Kyle are walking down the hospital hallway, turning to leave, there is a nurse standing there. Just a random nurse, with her back turned to them, fiddling with a chart or a card or something. They walk right past her. They don't even look twice. But the camera pans around, and it's Patty. It is Patty Williams in a freaking nurse uniform. She is right there. She is inside the hospital. She bypassed the guard. She bypassed everyone. She is just lurking there, waiting for her moment. It gave me absolute chills. What is she going to do? Is she going to inject him with something? Turn off his machines? Jack is completely defenseless. And Diane and Kyle just left him. I know they didn't know, but still, you don't leave the victim alone when the attacker is still out there. It is horror movie rules 101. So Diane and Ka get back to the Abbott mansion. The house feels so empty and cold right now. You can just feel the tension in the air. Diane is pacing. She is thinking back over everything that has happened over the last few weeks. The blackmail, the kidnapping, the absolute hell they have been put through. And she finally asks Carl the question that has been bothering her this whole time. Why did Jack let Patty move in? Why did he let that monster into their home? She couldn't understand it. She thought Jack had lost his mind or that he was actually falling for Patty's sick twisted games, but Carl looks at her, and he finally explains it. He finally tells her the truth. Carl says Jack did it to protect her. He did it to protect Diane. Carl explains that Patty had Jack completely cornered. If Jack didn't play along, if he didn't give Patty exactly what she wanted and let her move in, Patty was going to make sure Diane became an innocent victim. Patty had threatened Diane's life, her freedom, everything. Jack sacrificed himself. He sacrificed his own sanity and his own safety to keep that psycho away from his wife. And you can just see the realization wash over Diane's face. The anger melts away and it's just replaced by this profound, deep sadness and guilt. She understands now. She says it out loud. She says Jack is too strong for Patty to win. He is too strong. But is he? Is he really? Because right now, he is bleeding out in a hospital bed with a crazy woman in a nurse uniform standing outside his door. That doesn't look like winning to me. That looks like a tragedy waiting to happen. I need to just pause and talk about the bigger pattern here because this is classic Young and the Restless, and I am both here for it and completely exhausted by it. How many times have we seen someone sneak into Genoa City Memorial Hospital in a disguise? Seriously, the security at this hospital is a joke. It is an absolute joke. You could walk in there wearing a clown suit and carrying a chainsaw and the nurses would just wave you through. It's ridiculous. And yet, it works every single time. Patty Williams has a history of doing this. Remember when she had plastic surgery to look like Dr. Emily Peterson? She literally stole a woman's identity, her face, her life. Patty is capable of anything. She is not just a standard villain. She is deeply, deeply unwell and completely fearless. She doesn't care if she gets caught. She doesn't care if she dies. She just wants what she wants. And right now, she wants Jack Abbott dead if she can't have him. It's the ultimate if I can't have you, no one can trope. But Stacey Haydock plays it so well that you can't look away. You just can't. And let's talk about the fans on social media right now. Everyone is screaming. My timeline is just a mess of people praying for Jack and yelling at Diane for leaving the hospital. But honestly, what was Diane supposed to do? Sit outside the CT scan room for an hour? I mean, yes, probably. But she is exhausted. She was locked in a padded cell by Dr. Markham. She thought she was losing her mind. The trauma that Diane has endured over the last few weeks is insane. And now she is facing attempted murder charges. It's too much. The writers are just piling it on this poor woman. And I know, Diane has done terrible things in the past. She faked her own death. She manipulated people. A lot of fans still hate her. But nobody deserves this. Nobody deserves to be framed for stabbing their own husband by the very woman who actually did it. It's so dark. Let me circle back to Billy and Jill for a second because that argument in the park is really sticking with me. It's sticking with me because it highlights exactly why Billy is always spiraling. He has no foundation. His mother loves him, yes, but her love always comes with conditions and corporate expectations. Jill can't just be a mom. She has to be a CEO first. When Sally was standing there, watching them fight, you could see the pity in her eyes. Sally Spectra, who has lost so much, who is currently dealing with her own massive trauma and the loss of her baby, is standing there feeling sorry for Billy Abbott. That tells you everything you need to know. Billy pushes everyone away. He pushed Sally away when he doubted the paternity of their baby, which led to her car crash. And now he is pushing his mother away. He is going to end up completely alone. And if he goes to work for Kane Ashby, oh my God, Kane is riding high right now. He just blackmailed Lily using Malcolm's bone marrow. Kane is ruthless right now. If Billy steps into that mess at Chancellor Winters, he is going to get eaten alive. He doesn't have the focus. He doesn't have the discipline. Jill knows it. Sally knows it. We all know it. But Billy is just going to blindly walk into it because he wants to prove everyone wrong. It's his fatal flaw. So where do we go from here? Jack is in the scanner. Patty is in the hallway. Diane is at home realizing the depth of Jack's love for her. Michael is gearing up for the legal fight of his life against Christine and the corrupt Dr. Markham. It is a powder keg. Everything is just waiting for a spark. If Patty gets into that room, it might be the end of Jack Abbott. And I don't think the show would actually kill him off. I mean, Peter Bergman is a legend, but they might put him in a coma. They might give him brain damage. Anything is possible right now. And if Jack can't wake up to clear Diane's name, she is going to prison. Christine will make sure of it, not because she wants to, but because the fake evidence is airtight. I am just dreading tomorrow's episode. I am dreading it, but I am going to be glued to my screen. Let's just hope Kyle realizes something is wrong and rushes back to the hospital. Let's hope someone, anyone, notices the crazy lady in the nurse outfit. But this is Genoa City, so I am not holding my breath. You guys let me know what you think in the comments. Am I being too dramatic? Probably. But this show does that to me. It really does.